Recruiting is definitely a different deal here in 2020 due to the coronavirus and the various challenges. We get the Nebraska perspective from Chris Wahl on Husker Hype. Chris, we appreciate you jumping on board here.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me on, Mark.
So it's MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football. We break down all the teams in the nation and ask that you like, comment, share the videos, and subscribe. So right now it's the 10th ranked class in the Big Ten, number 35 national rank. Scott Frost obviously bringing a certain cachet back home to Lincoln despite a couple disappointing seasons. You got a linebacker, another linebacker commit yesterday. Just your thoughts on him and the rest of the class as it stands right now.
Yeah, so they picked up a nice get out of California yesterday. Will Schweitzer out of California. It's actually their fifth linebacker that they picked up in the class. So they have 10 commits, like you mentioned, and 50% of them are linebackers. So they're really stocking up there. Kind of had a lack of depth recently. So it looks like Frost wants to get that shored up. I like him a lot, and as well as a lot of the recruits that they're bringing on right now. I think Will is like 6'3" or 6'4", and a lot of the 21 classes, they're just tall. They're just big guys. They have 3 offensive linemen. One of them 6'7", one of them's 6'8", and the other guy's 6'9". So they're recruiting big, tall guys at really every position across the board right now.
Scott Frost brought in a top 20 class, ranked 4th in the Big Ten, according to the 247 Sports Composite last year. So you got to think that based on Mike Riley's work, which despite the lack of results on the field, he brought in top 25 classes, and Scott Frost raising the bar just a bit, that the roster's got to be at a place where this team should be able to compete in the West.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they keep bringing in these really top, these big recruits in these big classes. Just the attrition and some of them leaving recently has kind of been a topic of discussion. A few guys have left, and the development. I really do still feel like they have the talent to be better than a 5-7 team this year, despite the kind of gauntlet of the schedule they've got coming up in the back half. But really, I think you look at 2 areas that really should help them win more. And I think one of them is the offensive line and more experience there. You had a redshirt freshman, Cam Jurgens, starting at center last year. And that's never happened in the history of Nebraska football. And he had his struggles for sure. He was a tight end coming into Nebraska. So just the center position in the alone and the offensive line being more experienced and a better, I think, will help them out a lot there.
Got Chris Wahl on the line from Husker Hype, breaking down the Huskers for us. 10th ranked class in the Big Ten, according to 247 Sports Composite. Of course, December's a long way away and National Signing Day. J.D. Spielman wanted to touch on his situation, one of the big playmakers in the Big Ten. Is that a concern in regards to obviously him leaving, but in regards to where that places a Nebraska at wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely it was a long time coming. It felt like, but yeah, it's a big concern having him leave just because of how much production he gave on the field. He alone, I would say, accounted for many of our few wins that we've had in the past couple years, but. Despite him leaving, it was kind of a mutual agreement. I feel like he was just, kind of didn't want to be there anymore, and I understand. But despite him leaving, they are bringing in a good amount of wide receivers, including Omar Manning, which is the #1 JUCO rated guy in the nation. So that's very hopeful.